Unmute Connor.
Oh my God, good start. Hello, welcome. Boxing this week, 30 or 35, I think I want to say. Big old episode. I'll be honest, there's not a lot to talk about, but there's a fair bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the normal. We'll round up the kind of weekly stuff that's not as important, then we'll go through the bigger topics. So let's just get very quickly into that. But first of all, let's say hello to Paolo because I've forgotten to do that this week. Which is never a
Can I
good
be honest
start.
with you? What was he just talking about? Are vampires real? That is a
Uh,
great
yeah,
question, by the way.
I think so. Vampires definitely not real. What about ghosts?
Yeah. I'm not playing with them still. I've got quite religious recently in it, and
I see.
I'm not playing with them because I've seen enough films. I'm not playing with them. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't watch horror films. Don't do horror films at all.
Yeah,
I'll put a pillow in front of my face.
that's kind of fair.
So it's pointless me watching them really, but yeah, ghosts. Not sure about dragons. I think that's a bit far fetched.
I hope.
Uh, you
I
hope
hope they
dragons are
are. They're
real.
cool.
How can I ask you a question before we get into the boxing? How can something such be so cool that isn't real? Actually, no, I suppose because of the films and stuff in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, back to boxing.
Right. Let's do the weekly roundup. So, very very quickly, these are kind of the topics, like I say, that we're not really going to talk about too much, but they're interesting. Um, Fraser Clark returns on the Liam Cameron Ben Whittaker undercard. We might touch on that a little bit later. Joe Gallagher. This is that's actually very sad news. He's been diagnosed with cancer.
Stage 4.
So stage 4. Yeah. Extremely sad news. I mean, we wish him all the best, obviously,
Yeah.
and hope that his recovery goes well.
It's tough
Shit
times at the
news.
moment, man. Like, I
Yeah.
honestly, if I can give an honourable shout out to just people going through that right now, before we get into the laughs and jokes that we do with the boxing,
Yeah.
I've got a friend who's going through it himself at the moment with treatment and stuff like that. So
That
it's a
sucks.
very serious issue, and yeah, man, just always to highlight it. Like, if you ever have any problems, get them checked out. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Like, I'm not a doctor though, so I'm not here to give medical advice.
No, but that kind of maybe should have done that at the end or the start because that's a bit of a shit bit of news. But
Yeah,
again, we wish him all the best. Absolute legend in the sport. So yes, moving on. Respectfully moving on. Jaime Munguia is set to have his first fight under Eddie Reynoso, rematching Sirachi, who knocked him out 2 months ago, whatever, 3 months ago. ESPN are parting ways with Top Rank, so I think we're going to see Top Rank come on to DAZN. DAZN is just going to be the home of everything, man. That's pretty much how it's going. And other than that, not a lot to talk about. I mean, we're kind of going through everything. There's not too much to talk about this week, but there's quite a lot of little topics. So we're going to go through them all. First of all, we're going to start with the fact that Derek Chisora is an animal and beat the brakes off Otto Wallin, which I was not expecting. I thought he could do it. When I saw the size of the ring, I thought he probably will do it. But Otto Wallin apparently doesn't know how to throw a punch. I don't want to be too rude because the guy's a professional heavyweight.
that was a bad fight. What can we just go back to our predictions? What did we say before the fight?
I think I said Otto Wallin probably going to win.
And I think Connor go and purchase the most cheapest pack, because times are hard, of Cali pack and smoke it, because you were smoking something. In no world was Otto Wallin beating Chisora. And I'm glad we do these podcasts because people can say, yeah, you say it now. I said it last week. Yeah.
True.
I said it last week. And I said Chisora won that fight at the weigh-in and the press and the face-offs.
Yeah.
He won that fight before they even threw a punch. Chisora is a special kind of fighter. It's mad that he's going to get to, he potentially be getting to 50 fights and then call it a day. But nevertheless, 49 fights. What a career Chisora's had, by the way. Just to highlight. We'll go back to White in a minute because I think he forgot. I think he left his hands. His hands were glitching. Should we say that? It's one for
I mean, look, I was watching at home, and I kind of watched Nathan Heaney. Big upset that, by the way, him losing to the French guy. I can't remember the guy's name. Huge upset. But the ring looked tiny. Apparently, it was 18 by 18 foot. Now, that is not an excuse for Otto Wallin not throwing a punch.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that favoured Chisora. I just can't believe that this is the guy that made Tyson Fury struggle this much. I can't believe it's the same guy. I mean, Joshua did his job on him.
Yeah,
Derek
but
Chisora
my argument being that I'd probably say Fury fought probably earlier Wallin, who was, touted as a promising guy right back then, making sort of waves or doing his thing. But like I said, I don't think he was the same, and I think after Joshua, it's kind of that thing that people like to use that analogy with Joshua and Dubois, that Joshua isn't the same fighter or he hasn't been the same fighter. Why are we not using that analogy with Wallin? And let's be fair, because if you're going to do it for one, you do it for all, right? Yeah, and it was a brutal knockout. A brutal fight. Joshua handed to Wallin. And let's not take anything away from Chisora. Chisora is an experienced professional heavyweight boxer. So, as much as his age and everything could come into it, he's been on the circuit a long time. That makes him a tough fighter to fight at any time. I actually think, as of the last sort of 8-9 years, this might be the best Chisora we've seen later on in his career.
I wanted to bring that up. I think this is the best. He's in the run of his life right now. Beating Joe Joyce is not okay. Beating Pulev, beating Hunt, these aren't like the best wins in the world. But he's got a bit of form right now. He's got a bit of confidence. I don't think whoever his next fight is, let's be completely honest, it's probably Dillian White. That fight makes sense. I know he's talking about Usyk, Dubois, Joshua.
Well, it's a mandatory for the IBF, which I'm confused about because I thought Bakoli was going to be the mandatory after
he's a mandatory for the mandatory.
Right, so we're going to go back to this point because I hate this. Belts. We're going back to the belts. So we've got 5 belts. We've got a mandatory and we've got a mandatory of a mandatory. I've had enough.
Yeah, so he won the eliminator. So
what's Bakoli and the Jagba fighting for then?
So they're fighting for the mandatory.
Yeah.
This is where it gets fucking stupid. So Bakoli and Jagba are fighting for mandatory to fight Usyk. If Usyk goes and fights...
I thought he was fighting Dubois. Yeah.
If Dubois goes and fights Usyk, which he'll probably get allowed to do, or whoever wins out of him and Parker, then the winner of Bakoli or Jagba will have to fight Chisora, essentially. That's my understanding of it.
So basically, then none of them are mandatories right now, is what I'm understanding. Let's put it frank.
None of them are getting a title shot anytime soon, basically.
So we've got 2 mandatories. You know what? Yeah, the IBF, WBC, I really hate this side of boxing because this is where it makes it confusing for new fans to come in. It's stupid. The format's stupid. They need to get rid of it. I've just had enough of it now. I'm on a rant.
I agree.
There's fighters that I know, deservedly so, will become world champions within their respect and their own sort of divisions and stuff like that. And fighters that I watch and I like. And I think they deserve it. But I do think these organizations run a bit like Donald Trump's run in America right now. Chaotic.
Money.
Chaotic.
Yeah.
Chaotic. Gulf of America vibes.
No, but you're right. It's ridiculous. And then we got the fact. So here's my worry: is Chisora then goes and fights. It should be Dillian White. I think that's the fight that makes
that's
sense.
Got to be the Sunset fight, man. That's a big fight, and I think you make a lot of money from that, him and White.
Oh, they sell out the O2 easily.
Yeah, and I think White getting a win over that kind of Chisora will streamline him back into contention of where he was before, nearly anyway.
I like that fight. That makes sense for both. Chisora will want to right his wrongs against Dillian White. Dillian White will look at it and go, lot of money, puts me back on the right path. Chisora win. My worry is that Chisora actually goes and wins that fight.
Mm.
And then he's looking at it like, I'm actually only 1 or 2 fights away from getting a world title now. Maybe I'm not hanging it up. I'm not necessarily convinced that Derek Chisora is retiring at fight number 50.
I don't know what's possible now, to be honest. I really don't. I'm not going to make predictions and stuff like that. From what we understand, this is his last fight. But to saying that, Mike Tyson's still fighting at 58. You see what I'm saying? So we don't know what's going on, and we're not going to pretend we do.
No, true. Right, let's talk about Otto Wallin. Not for too long, but we'll talk about him for a second. What's happened with him?
Well, I'm not being funny, yeah, but you know that was I was actually out. I've watched the fight back since, but I was out when it was on, and I was watching like a journalist update on BBC. You know when they do by round,
Yep.
and I kept reading the same thing each round. Otto Wallin is still not throwing. He's still not throwing. Round 8, he's still not throwing. Like it's bad. Like and I'm seeing that Chisora's rocked him. The knockout itself, it was mad. Yeah, but yeah, he just wasn't throwing. I didn't really understand it. It was weird, very weird.
Yeah, I mean, Chisora's knocked him down twice in the fight. Arguably, the fight could have been stopped at times anyway. Sent him across the ring. It's crazy. I don't know what's happened to Otto Wallin, but it looks like he's just shot. He's got no confidence. I think against Fury, he fought the best fight of his career,
And he couldn't top it.
Maybe got robbed. I don't know if it's really a robbery, but maybe got robbed. Then he's gone in against AJ, and that's his second biggest fight of his career, maybe even the biggest, because now people know who you are and they have an expectation to see something, and he got his shit rocked. And there's nothing wrong with that. AJ at the time was in form. He's one of the best heavyweights of his generation. There's nothing wrong with it. But to me, the guy that can't throw against Derek Chisora, the bigger man against Chisora, and he's struggling, bigger in height, but struggling to keep him at the end of a jab at all points of the fight. It's a 41-year-old who's lost 13 times before. And this is no disrespect to Derek Chisora's mentality, but he knows how to win as much as he knows how to lose.
Yeah.
So if you keep him at the end of a jab and you just ruin his night, he doesn't have it in his head that I'm just unbeatable. Otto Wallin couldn't even throw a jab out full extension. He could not get that distance. Yes, the ring was quite small, so I feel bad for him in that sense. But you're a professional heavyweight that's trying to push on for world titles.
Come on, man! Man.
Exactly.
Do you know what that ring is too small is giving me? Yeah, don't get me wrong. I know it makes a difference, yeah, but I'm really, really getting that. That there sounded like Arteta in the cup when he said the change of the football, man. Like, just you've been on the circuit enough. You've fought in big rings, small rings. Like, yeah. I'm just when you're if he's you. To come out and said that, that's a howler. If he hasn't said that and people are saying the ring was smaller, it's a howler. Let's be honest with you. How many fights has Otto Wallin had? Quite a lot. We're talking 20 odd, 25, 30?
20. We must be 24, 25, yeah.
Fighting in the amateurs as well. And in the amateurs, predominantly the rings can be a smaller size. I guess into pro ranks in some senses. And he's probably fought in small rings as a pro. So it's not as if like he's got in and gone, blah, this is different. Like, do you see where I'm coming from?
My point is more, I don't think him or his team are saying this, but it's more me saying, I get if the ring is smaller and you can't fight your style, that you might not look great for a few rounds because you've got to get used to it. But the fact is you are then 3 rounds into a fight, 4 rounds into a fight, you've still not thrown anything. Just start throwing. Otto Wallin's a good boxer. His stock has just dropped massively. But he's not bad. What are you doing? You're in there. You're not even throwing an uppercut. You're not throwing... Oh, man. It's annoying. But props to Derek Chisora, and obviously we've got kind of the next thing we're going to talk about with Dillian White and Joe Joyce kind of leads into that, and we'll see. I assume the winner of that will likely fight Chisora, whether that's a Joe Joyce rematch, which is not a bad fight, or that's a Dillian White trilogy, which would be fun. That'd be cool.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I mean, let's not shy away from it. How like the question is, how much how much is Joe Joyce there now? Like honestly, like how much is he there? Because he looks shot to pieces, and I mean that in the most respectful way. Like
that's worrying.
You've got a question, like all of these press conferences and stuff, and the way that he's talking and stuff like that. Like, is there serious? Only he will know, innit? Like, but is there serious CTE? CTE like there that we know about. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like Joe Joyce, just I don't know if like obviously you got to remember Joe Joyce is what 41. No, he's 41, 42.
Getting
like
up there, yeah.
He's fighting some really dangerous guys. He's going into a dangerous fight now with Dillian White. Honestly, I just don't know. So I don't know if I would enjoy seeing Chisora and Joyce, but I would enjoy watching Dillian White and Chisora 3.
Yeah.
More money in it, bigger fight. I don't think Joe Joyce and Chisora is a main card fight, but I think Dillian White and Chisora is a main card fight in potentially or they put him on a Saudi card, innit? I don't know.
Yeah. But let's talk about this. The card of heavyweights that we've got.
Unreal, by the way. I actually rate it.
Really pleased. So we've got right from the bottom to the top as well. So Joyce, Dillian White, main event. I'd actually argue that's not even the most interesting fight because I think we know what's going to happen there. I don't. I like the idea of seeing Joe Joyce sort of in his prime and looking good again, but I think he's past it.
Bro, he just looks tired, bro. Like I mean that in the most respectful way. Like he doesn't. He looks like he's taken a lot of damage, but only he will know. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like as much as we can all make the assumptions, but then like I'd be interested. It'd be interesting to get like a doctor's perspective or like a medical professional, not egghead on Instagram who says like, "Oh, Joe Joyce is done." I'd love to get a doctor's perspective of just analyzing like his speech and how he is and stuff like that. Maybe we need to get a doctor on this, Connor.
That'd be interesting. A little speech therapist kind of
therapist, doctor. If you're out there, give us a shout. We'd love to speak to you about. I think we just get them on for one of the weekly lives. What a great idea! Yeah, we're gonna do. We should do that. I say we're gonna do that, but I don't want to make any promises because we see what we can get. We'll have a look.
We'll find someone. Yeah,
we'll have a butch. But yeah,
so White Joyce. So I think Dillian White wins it.
That's going to end badly for Joyce. I'll be so real with you. I'll be so real with you. That's going to end very badly for Joyce. Now, anyway, I would have said a couple of years ago that would have been an interesting fight because I think Joe Joyce, there was a point where like he was really difficult to stop in terms of it looked like where he was going, but he was always limited to where he was going because of his age, innit? But obviously, there was a point where like he looked dangerous to fight. Like the jab, everything else. You look like he got a win over Dubois, like a younger Dubois as well.
And you couldn't hurt him. He was like, there was a point where we were looking at this guy and going, this guy might just steamroll everyone. He's slow, his punch is slow, but when he hits you, you're gone. And when you hit him, doesn't seem to do anything. His chin now seems like it's cracked a little. I love Joe Joyce, by the way. I think he's I think like, as a human being outside of the ring, in his prime, he was great to watch. Like him versus Joseph Parker is a great fight to go and watch. Just as like a general bit of a battle with a good ending. But ultimately, Zheli Zhang has ruined Joe Joyce. And we're getting to a point where he's 39 years old. He is not able to come back, I don't think. Dillian White needs to prove that he's still got something to give. And I think he does have more to give. But aside from that, the fight that I'm more interested by is the co-main event, where we've got Lawrence Okoli at heavyweight versus Richard Riakporhe at heavyweight.
Interesting. I'm going to be honest with you. Can we just run it back to why Riakporhe got rattled, by the way?
Because
honestly, like I'm saying this from a point. If my friends get me like that and my head goes, like you've lost the crowd, by the way. Like if you are able to get somebody with a comment like that, your head's gone. Your head's gone. Talk about personal space. A man said Madonna's too old and he started swinging. That is hilarious. Lawrence Okoli knew what he was doing there. You're a bad guy still. Bad guy. You're a bad guy. But yeah, the rumors are circulating that Riakporhe has had some form of relationship with Madonna, each to their own. She's got to be pushing on 70 now, isn't it? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, that the actual rocker of where it started was the Madonna comment, and now they're here. I mean, they didn't. I don't think they've liked each other anyway. 66 years old, Jesus Christ.
Hold on, but she is worth 850 million. So
yeah, I was gonna say, 4 years later, that's when my nan got diagnosed with dementia. But my nan weren't worth 850 million. She was priceless to me. Do you know what I mean? It's a cheesy one, but you know what I mean. Let's have it right. Oh, my light's gonna go off in a minute, and I'm just gonna pre-warn you. It'll go dark for a minute.
That's fine.
Yeah, she. I don't know, man. It's weird, isn't it? It's just weird.
It is a bit weird. But like, either way, I mean, that fight is interesting. We've seen what Okoli does at heavyweight. Not against the best opponent, but he's bigger. He looked more comfortable.
He's a heavyweight though, isn't it, Okoli? Let's be honest. Like, I think he's pushing a boat with cruiserweight, and I think his big thing was struggling to maybe make the weights, if that's respective of like what was going on there. But all weight cuts were difficult. Maybe we see a better Okoli at heavyweight. I really hope so, because he done what he needed to do in the first fight. Got a knockout. His debut at heavyweight, not bridgerweight, but heavyweight. Yeah. But it's mad though, because you've got to remember he is a 2-time world champion. So
which is crazy.
He's a bridgerweight. What do you know? What? Yeah. We'll go back to that in a minute. I got a question about that still. Not Okoli, but the division that he used to fight in. But yeah, it's interesting, Connor. Right? I don't know. It's a weird fight. I need to watch it. I don't think I've got an opinion on it till the first bell goes.
Yeah, because we don't know what Riakporhe is going to be like. I've always thought Riakporhe was decent at cruiser. I never thought he looked like he needed to go up, come down, or anything like that.
But maybe a different Riakporhe, like heavier one, might suit him more. He spars heavyweights anyway, innit, Riakporhe? So
yeah, that's interesting. And then a fight. I'll be honest, I'm not as fussed by this, but I like watching David Adelaide. David Adelaide versus Jimmy TKV.
No, I like that, man. It's a good fight.
I like it for David Adelaide because I'm an Adelaide fan.
It's gonna bring. I'll tell you. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. Go on.
I think Adelaide smokes him.
Okay. Okay, I can understand why people would have that opinion from the outside, but I think this opportunity for Jamie TKV will also, I feel like, bring the best out in him, which is probably what boxer want at this point, and probably what they're looking at for their fighter. I think this kind of opponent's going to get the best out. We're going to see how good Jamie TKV is. And they've sparred numerous amount of times before. So I actually think this will be an interesting fight because both the fighters know each other.
You're right. I am interested by... We've never seen Jamie step up against anyone that we've kind of massively respected. He's got a loss on his record. That's very unlucky. That's
Hello, I'm just filming.
Sorry. Cut, so that's good. So, like, that side of it doesn't really matter. He's a good heavyweight, but we've never seen him up against anyone that's made him feel impressive. Whereas David Adelaide has done things where we're like, okay, this guy's serious. I can't see how Adelaide doesn't just 2 rounds and it's done because of his power. But maybe Jamie TKV's got a lot more to offer than I have seen. Speaking of the kind of prospects, though, we have the debut of Delicious Ori, which is very interesting. Had a very disappointing Olympics. Watch it. He's one of the top amateurs, heavyweight amateurs.
100%.
I believe we're kind of looking at Moses Satama was number 1. Delicious Ori is.
But didn't Delicious Ori get? What did you say? His loss was more controversial
in the Olympics. Yeah, it was, but he didn't fight well enough. Like, this is a bit of a
You're lagging a bit, Connor, as well. Just to let you know.
Oh, that's good. Shit.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I am. Right. Okay. Yeah. So he didn't fight well enough in the Olympics. He was okay, but you could see how he would have got the decision. But equally, him not getting it is by no means a disgrace. So
pro game's different, though, man. It's different, isn't it? So you've got to look at it like this: is Fabio Wardley's experience was white collar boxing, by the way, and it's like you're talking now British champion, so on and so forth, and pushing on to bigger things. So
power, you'll be fine.
I feel like if his career is guided in the right way and they make the right moves and they make the right steps, not insinuating that they're going to give him easy fights, but he's going to have probably this is going to be a tune-up for him, right? An introduction. But if Frank Warren, who's a Queensbury fighter, Delicious Ori in it. Yeah. So, Frank Warren's one of the most experienced, if not the most experienced promoter in the game, other than maybe I'd say Bob Arum. So it's like he knows what he's doing. And I don't think Frank Warren wouldn't have signed him if he didn't see something in him. So I think he's probably got a lot to offer this heavyweight division. The good thing is that everyone worried about when Joshua, Fury and Usyk retire and that pool of fighters, what happens. But we have such a big heavyweight division now. Like a bigger one than I feel like even when Joshua and that were fighting, winning world titles in. So it makes it interesting. There's a lot of young heavyweights coming through.
Joshua had to carry the heavyweight division on his back to get it back to its relevance, to get it into the limelight. Now we're seeing these younger guys. We've got Moses Atama, we've got Delicious Ori, we've got the Adelaide, TKV, Fabio Wardley, even Fraser Clark. I know he's not young, but he's new to the pros. Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher, Jared Anderson is fighting this week as well. We'll speak of that a little bit on him in a second. There's a lot to be said for heavyweights right now. There's a lot going on. Actually, this is a great era of heavyweights. Not maybe, pair them up against the Ali, Foreman, Frasers.
We've got to stop doing that. No, we've got to stop doing that, though.
But compared to each other, there are so many good fights out there.
I think that we need to move past that era because, yes, it was once a generation era, but most people who watch this podcast and do you know what? No, that's a lie. Every young person has not watched the Muhammad Ali fight live, and that is the audience that is capturing now. Maybe the older heads, yes, a lot of older heads. I know a lot of older heads in the British Board of Boxing Control, personally, that they some of them. I'm sitting in rooms with people that fought on Ali on cards as undercard fighters. Do you know what I mean? It's mental, but. That's that generation. I think now we have to look forward. People have got to really stop comparing divisions and times and just like if you really, really don't want to watch these heavyweights now, jump on YouTube, go and watch Muhammad Ali, Foreman, and all these people because I feel like we give these lot the time now to. Is there somebody joined?
No. I was just clicked by accident.
Okay.
Whoops.
We give these new heavyweights their flowers, man. Like they're really giving their flowers. It's a new era, and I'm just here for it.
Yeah, massively. I think we're in a good place. I mean, let's talk about some of the fights that are going on this week. Actually, no. Do you know? Look, Jack Catterall's fighting this week, and the problem I'm having with it, to get excited by it, is it's another week where Catterall is fighting, and we're excited. It's a good fight again, but it's not for a world title. How long before the guy's going to get his chance?
I'm going to be honest with you. He should already be undisputed champion, by the way. Interesting story as well, Connor, to go back to it. One of the refs who was at the Catterall-Taylor 1 fight is cousin I know very well. And I was out at a pub and he was there and I was talking to him about the boxing, actually, funnily enough.
Sure.
One of the judges, one of the judges that you see about and the ref, he refs as well. First thing he said to me was, yeah. So-and-so's told me, I'm not going to name names, but so-and-so's told me that you're heavily in sort of boxing with the media. You ain't slated me, have you? I said, I might have done if you made a bad decision. But yeah, no, going back to it, Catterall should already be a world champion, but due to the do you know what's funny? Yeah, due to maybe incompetence, he's not. I'll put it down to incompetence, because if you saw that fight any other way, the first one, then a Catterall will win, then you can join Connor and smoke some Cali. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like he's been cheated out of it, man. He's been cheated out of it. But he's here. He's got to be given a shot soon. Has to. I feel like he's going to get through this. He is fighting for a title on this, no?
Not a world title.
No.
This is to fight for the mandatory, and then after this he should be. But this is now, we've had this a few times where he's meant to be fighting for a title next, and it's not happened.
Catterall's got to be the unluckiest man in boxing. Do you know that? I'm actually using that phrase of him now, because I think Catterall was a great fighter, by the way.
Yeah.
The names he's got on his record as well, pushing up, and who he's beaten recently, Prograis. Obviously, he's had Taylor on there.
He's got Jorge Linares, which is
Linares. It's a great name.
Linares, great name.
I don't care what Linares you get. That Linares, you can go back and watch Linares and Crawler. Yeah. Like Linares is an absolute legend. Like he's a. I'm gonna say he's up there, like in terms of just like as a tough boxer who made a name for himself, retired, and he got the respect. Linares is a great boxer. So it don't matter what, because I still think if you put Linares in against an up-and-coming fighter with 3 or 4 wins, he beats him. So it's like, do you know what I mean? He's not washed out. He weren't done. He just fought Catterall, and Catterall is up there. So I feel like he's got to be the most cheated man in boxing, I feel.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think, Catterall's 30-1, Barboza Jr.'s 31-0. So 62 fights between them, 1 loss. Serious fighters. Hopefully for British boxing, because we kind of need it. We've not got too many world champions going right now. So hopefully Catterall wins and then he gets that world title fight. And it doesn't prolong any further, because that's the one worry, is it's taking its time. And sometimes these things have a way of working out and it never quite happens.
I think, Catterall will become a world champion. And I just feel like whoever's stopping him from doing it or prolonging it, there's only so long that you can do it for. And this is my issue again. Like, I'm sure there's politics behind it that we don't know about, that Catterall and his team are only going to know. Or there might not be no politics, but all I know is he's been robbed. absolutely robbed.
Yeah.
So and when I look at it like this, he deserves a world title. Do you know what it is? Yeah, if they turned around to him tomorrow and awarded him like title champion by email, I couldn't even knock it because it's not as if he ain't earned it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's different. It's different. He's not one of these that's not done enough in the ring. He has done more than enough in the ring.
Yeah.
He should be undisputed, unified. He should
Give
we're
him a
talking.
world
Yeah,
title and let him do his homecoming fight with a world title. Do you see what
yeah,
I'm saying? It's like I don't know how much more he can do, but I really hope he gets the world title shot after this fight.
yeah, massively. I mean, and hopefully, I mean, this is the crazy thing. He's gonna have to fight like a Devin Haney, a Teofimo Lopez. We're talking. He's got this fight, which is hard, a really hard fight. Then he's going to go from this if he wins, which isn't a guarantee, and then he's going to go after and fight. We're talking like pound for pound.
He doesn't need to fight Teo or Haney though, because one of the belts is, I think, winnable, and they're all winnable for him. But I'm saying, as in, there's a belt you can go and win. It's not held by them two, because I was looking at this because they were talking about making Haney fight next, but they said, I think that we said the route was to go down fighting that world champion and then becoming just mad. Like I couldn't even tell you his name. Don't even know.
You've got Richardson Hitchens as the IBF.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember.
That was it. It was the IBF. It was the IBF.
Yeah, because Hitchens is under Eddie Hearn's management as well. So that's what would make sense. But it's just it's quite long.
You're lagging again, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I noticed this earlier. My internet's shit. We'll
that's
sort
that. That's that seagull. That's that seagull internet.
I'll get this sorted for next week because it shouldn't
Costa
be like this, but...
Costa del Bleep. Because I'm not going to give your area away, but Costa del Bleep.
Yeah. Anyway, then we'll move on to the other fight that is happening this week, and that is Keyshawn Davis is fighting for his world title against Dennis Bershink. And I hope he fucking wins after what's been going on this week with all the... I am lagging crazy bad. This is not great. Is my audio all right?
Audio's fine. It's just your lag.
All right, that's fine. So after what's going on this week where you had well, let's call it as it is. Somebody, we don't know for sure if it was on Dennis Bershink's team, but sent like watermelon and bananas and stuff to Keyshawn Davis's hotel room. And it's just like, it's no
Can I just say, like, this is not even from any place of like, but I definitely don't stand for that. You don't stand for that. And any other normal, rational person doesn't. Yeah. But honestly, yeah, after seeing that, if it is one of his team, I hope he takes their teeth out. I've got to be real with you. I'll be very, very appalled if it's his opponent or anything to do with his opponent, because for me, let's be honest, yeah, we want to talk about racism in sport, yeah, people get done for it, yeah. If you are found guilty of that, you should not be allowed to box. You should have a ban.
Yeah.
So if it is him, because we don't know if it's him, I hope it's not, because I just hope he's not, wouldn't do that, because as a professional boxer, you're coming against people throughout your career of all nationalities, ethnicities, religions, creeds. I really, really don't know how you can hate so many people like that and be around people like that so much. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Like I hope it's not his team, but if it is, I hope Keyshawn puts his gloves through his teeth.
I think Keyshawn will, and now I just want it to happen even more. I'd like to be able to sit here and say like I don't. And do you know what, it probably isn't. Dennis Bershink is probably only focused on the fight, and that's it. He, like most of these things, the guy that's actually in the ring is normally the one that's not doing any of the shit that's going on outside it. Yeah, like Sandy Ryan paint thing with Michaela May. I know it's different, but this kind of like external shit that's going on. The problem is these people have these massive teams, and you always get one or two. Now we don't know for sure if this was part of Dennis Bershink's team, but either way, it's made me. I want Keyshawn to win before. Now I want him to win by a knockout and look amazing doing it. So hopefully that goes well. That is on Valentine's Day. If you are single like me, that will be the plan. Stay up till 5 a.m. and watch Keyshawn Davis.
Are you gonna do a live stream for it?
Probably not, because I'm going to wake up for it, and I've got things to do the next day. So I'm likely going to be half asleep watching it. But I'd like. We need to start doing the live streams a bit more.
Batabi ever Bivol, we could do one for.
I am in Germany. I have planned this terribly.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I might still.
No. You're not. You're definitely not. You're stop it.
No, that's stupid.
We can do. We'll figure it out. We've got some lives coming up. There's some fights coming up anyway. We've got. Providing I'm not in Manchester, we could potentially do the heavyweight card because I might be going for media, which for us actually. And I'll give you a shout because you might be there with me. We never know.
True.
So we're going to see in it. But we are going to get back to doing some more live soon. I want to get into doing the reactions again, man. We got to figure out how we can do that.
Yeah, true. That was good. I tell you what I will do. I'll commit to it because I know I'm free. And if Paolo's free and all the rest of it, then sure, we'll both do it.
What's
Javonta Davis, Lamont Roach.
What date?
1st of March.
Oh my god, that's DFC weekend. I can't even do that because
I will do it.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I'm gonna try and do it. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna have a long day. So I'll tell you why. Let me just explain to you, look quick.
Nah, bro. No, this is not gonna happen because you're gonna be at the event. And you're gonna come home and you're gonna stay up.
No, I'm not. I'm not. No. I'm not allowed. The event's on the Sunday. The problem I've got is
No, don't do that.
I'm at an engagement party on the Saturday potentially. If we don't have a press. If we don't have, I'm at that age. If we don't have a press conference, for DFC. However, the engagement party is going to be done at 10. I get home, have some sleep. I'll do what I've done last time. I'll wake up. It's all good.
All right. If Paolo joins me, it'll be a miracle. But there's no pressure. But
we still got to do Dirty Shot, by the way.
Oh shit! We need to start. Yeah.
I've got a forfeit that I owe Connor on live for you lot, so we got to figure that one out as well. There's so much we've got to do. But going back to it,
there's a lot of fights coming up that we can do these streams for easily. Jaron Ennis versus Stanionis, I'll definitely do. Dillian White, Joe Joyce, we could probably do. Like, there's a lot coming up. We'll sort it.
Yeah.
But for this week, that is nearly everything. Teofimo Lopez is fighting in Alcatraz. What the fuck?
Yeah, Alcatraz. How can we not? That is our thumbnail, Connor. So let's give that 5 or 10 minutes. What the hell is going on?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Teofimo Lopez fights on Thursdays, fights on Fridays, and he fights in prison. Is he's still signed to Top Rank?
Yeah, but this one's under.
Because he's absolutely been stung under Top Rank for paydays. It's meant.
He released it. He was releasing it, and Terence Crawford was telling him to shut up because it was embarrassing.
All of that training for when you actually think about the level that Teofimo Lopez is at, by the way, because he's an unreal fighter, and he's getting paid $2 million. Yeah, I'm just saying this. Yeah, and this is down to the promotion because it's got to be the promotion. It's bad business. Like when you talk about Katie Taylor and Serrano, two of the best female fighters of all time, fought on a Jake Paul undercard fighting a 50-year-old man and got paid $7 million each. And they weren't even main event. Yeah. So it's like, and deservedly so, they got paid that money, by the way. That's not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is, it's all down to the promotion, how they handle their fighters, and how they convey business. And I feel like Top Rank are moving, probably like, I'm going to compare them to Man United. Stadium broken.
Yeah.
Stadium broken, rats running on the pitch, leaks in the roof, and they don't want to pay to fix it. What did they do? They gave their staff £20 vouchers for M&S as a thank you. So I feel like Top Rank are Man United. That's my analogy. That's what I'm gonna say. What are your thoughts on it,
I
Connor?
like that. I mean, Top Rank is shit. We know that, right? We said about the ESPN deal going, so they're going to have to partner up with the Zone. They're going to have to sort their shit out, which is good because they've got good fighters. I can see the freeze frame on that. That was just pixels and my mouth open. Weird. Pause, play, carry on. Anyway.
That is crazy. That is crazy, Connor.
Yeah. Anyway. Top Rank have good fighters.
Yeah.
So it's good that I think they'll come over to DAZN. I don't see why not. Queensbury DAZN is completely official from April 1st. Top Rank 2 DAZN makes sense. Then we'll see the likes of Keyshawn Davis fighting, maybe Andy Cruz. That fight can happen a bit easier. More fights out there. But let's not forget, Bob Arum has been doing it at the top level, one of the best promoters ever, Hall of Fame. But he is so past it. Teofimo Lopez is fighting on a Wednesday night dressed as a clown to just get, a couple thousand views or something. He's now fighting in a prison because I think they've realised the guy's brilliant at fighting but doesn't sell. So he's kind of a promoter's dream in a way because you can pay him less and you know he's still really good. But he's a weird, it's a weird one. I like the idea of these kind of fights are in weird locations. I like. The only problem I have is they're not accessible. You know, boxing isn't. It's not it's not a sport for the 1% of the 1%. How the hell are people going to get to Alcatraz?
Yeah,
that's a bit of that's a tricky one, but maybe that's I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong way to think about it. I don't know. But I like the idea of these kind of fights. Next up, probably not right now. Actually, I was going to say Chernobyl, but that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't mind it.
Do you know who I'm messaging about the Teo thing?
Who?
Let me just see if I can ring him quick here. He might not pick up.
That's cool.
It's like, who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah, call a friend. Phone a friend.
Right, he's not picking up. But I wanted to get flips from DFC's opinion on this as a promoter because I'm sure that he would have had an opinion on it. But it's interesting. It's really interesting. I don't know what to say about that. That's got to be like the weirdest place to have a fight in boxing.
It is a weird one. I mean, we don't have an opponent for it. We don't know what's going on with it, but it's cool. It's cool. Also, I forgot to mention, Canelo is fighting William Skull, so he's going to unify, get undisputed, and then he's going to fight Terence Crawford.
I love how we just say he's going to do
it. He is. He's William Skull. Skull seems like an all right guy. I've tried to follow him a little bit more, but there's nothing there that says. No, that one's not a pause, is it? What did I say?
I've tried to follow him a little bit more.
Yeah, follow his career. I think your head is just there. That might be the problem. You might need to just...
Do you know what it is? I'm around people who say pause all the time. Shout out to Gully. Because every time we do the DFC podcast, he looks at me and go, like, if I say something, and I know it's a pause, or like if I say something without realizing, he will just pull a face. He don't even say pause now because he just said he's had enough. But sorry, it's just me. I've got Connor down the coast saying pause to people who don't have a clue what it is. See what I'm saying?
I know. I've got crazy.
Have you said it at work?
Yeah, of course.
And people are like, what the fuck is what the fuck?
No, I think everyone knows what it is. It's just not something people say.
Yeah.
But it's like it's pretty common, I guess.
I'm just getting Connor ready for when he comes to London and works on these shows with me.
Acclimating, exactly.
Yeah, just getting Connor ready because you'll hear it non-stop in London, I'll tell you that.
No, I know. I've got friends in London.
Yeah, so you know. Yeah. But yeah.
I think that's every... Yeah, so Canelo's fighting Skull will win. No, fucking hell. That's bold. Canelo will win. Whoa. And then fight.
Connor said Skull will win. I'm going to clip that.
Do not clip that. Do not clip that. That is not what I said.
Yeah.
I think that is boxing this week. I can't think of anything else. There's nothing else. Yeah, that is boxing this week. That is boxing 35. We're coming up to 50.
We could do something for. Actually, no, I might be at that as well. See, this is mad. I might be at the all women's card on the 7th of March, Boxer, which is at the Royal Albert Hall. Not the big, in terms of obviously the cards have been put on. It's another big card for female boxing, all female card. Fran Hennessy has been announced on it finally.
I saw that. Took its time.
Happy for her. Just a shame she got probably, I'd say, stitched up at the press conference. Or I think she felt as if she... It definitely... Look, I'll be the first to say to invite someone down to a press conference and then just not have them do anything and then just standing there, you've really got to... I understand the frustration from their team and her side. Because I would be kicking off. I'll tell you that. It's interesting, but nevertheless, we're here. She's on the card, and it's hopefully another win on the way to her becoming youngest female champion, which I think she hasn't got long left to complete, to be fair. But nevertheless, she's got a title already, so we'll see where it goes. But yeah, happy for Fran, man. She got on the card, and the boxer card looks very good for female boxing. So yeah, obviously headlining that is Jonas and Price.
That's like a great card. I'm excited to the main event. I'm excited to see, but I feel like Price will win that quite easily. But you never know. That is boxing this week, 35. We should have a little bit more to talk about next week with Catterall-Barboza result, Keyshawn Davis result. Maybe we'll do some fantasy fights or something next week if it's a little bit. I can't remember what's going on. Oh no, because then no, fuck that. Sorry, we got Beterbiev Bivol fight predictions, all this stuff. So we're good next week. That's everything from me, Paolo. If you'd like to do the outro as per usual,
like, share, subscribe, please. Let us know how you like it. I hope you're not watching. The shorts are coming out in full effect.
Yeah,
no doubt the whole shorts. There might even be one for tonight up at 10 o'clock, Connor. That's kind of the swing I'm in at the moment with this. Yeah, 10 o'clock. That's doable. Yeah, we'll get one out of 10. Yeah, we'll get one out of 10. Yeah, like, share, subscribe to the podcast every week. Join us at 7:45. We're always here. And like I said to you, just this year is positive vibes. So enjoy the show, and we'll be seeing you again soon.
Peace. Cool.